Hare Krishna, dear devotees, welcome for our discussion on Nectar of Instruction. So today is a very auspicious day, 23rd of January, 2025, uh, Thursday. So we have gathered here to continue our discussion on what they call Nectar of Instruction. So as we have gone through that part one of Nectar of Instruction, just a quick recap. All right. But before that, let's do our invocation prayer to invoke auspiciousness. We worship to our spiritual master, to all the previous Acharya for their blessings so that we get the real essence of the Sastra. All right. Without their mercy, nothing is possible. Okay. So therefore, we invoke their mercy. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Darati Swaparantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagarajadam Shahagana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savaduta Parijana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidam Cha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasachari Satarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimadi Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Varshapanavi Devi Daitaye Kripapdaye Krishna Sambandha Vignanadaine Prabhave Namaha Madhuryojvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namustute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupa Nuga Viruddha Pasidanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambu Jayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistam Nidasa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarubhauma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Paditanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Om Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Garatase Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhakta Avadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanutute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Siva Shari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Tat Sat Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Let's recite Sat Goswami Astaka Krishna Krishnot Kirtana Gana Nartanau Parau Prema Mritambo Nidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priyo Priyo Karau Nirmat Sarau Pujitau Sri Chaitanya Kripa Baro Bhuvi Bhuva Bhava Bharava Hantarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghu Yugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Nana Sastra Vicharanaika Nipunau Sat Dharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarinau Tribhuvane Manyau Sharanyakarau Radha Krishna Pada Ravinda Bhajana Nandena Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Shri Gauranga Gunanuvarnana Vidau Shraddha Sangridhya Vanvitau Papotapa Nikrintinau Tanubratam Govinda Ganamritai Anandam Buddhi Vardanaika Nipunau Kaivalya Nistarakau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Tyaktva turnan ashesha mandala pati shrenim sada tuchhavat bhutva dina ganesha kau karunaya kaupina kantarishtav gopi bhava rasam vrittapti lahari kalola Maknau muhur Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Pujat Kokila Hansa Sarasa Ganakirne Mayurakule Nana Ratna Nibatta Mula Vittapa Sri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishnam Aharnisham Prabhajatau Jivartadau Yaumuda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Sankhya Purvaka Namagane Natibihi Kalavasani Kritau Nidrahara Vihara Kadi Vijitau Chatyanta Dinau Chayau Radha Krishna Guna Smritir Madura Manandanena Sammohitau Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau Radha Kunde Tata Kalinda Tanaya Tire Chavangsi Vate Premon Mada Vasat Ashesha Dayasaya Grastau Pramattau Sada Gayantau Cha Kada Harir Guna Varam Bhava Vibhutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau He Radhe Vraja Devike Cha Lalite He Nando Suno Kuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Padapo Tale Kalindi Vane Kuta Goshtantva Iti Sarvato Vrajapure Kedair Mahavihavalao Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyugau Sri Jiva Gopalakau. Today we read verse 3 translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very much enriched in the understanding of Lord Chaitanya and who are thus expert in narrating his transcendental qualities. They can purify all conditioned souls from the reaction of their sinful activities by pouring upon them transcendental songs about Govinda. As such, they are very expert in increasing the limits of the ocean of transcendental bliss, and they are the saviors. They are the saviors of the living entities from the devouring mouth of liberation. Hare Krishna. So, with that thought, let's start our today's program. So, welcome. I would like to welcome all Nanda Mataji, Sheila Mataji, Karpaya Mataji, Saraswati Mataji, Kesavan Prabhu, Rajina Mataji, Gandhi Mataji, Skandabalan Prabhu, Vivan Prabhu, and Sadguna Mataji. Welcome. So, just a quick recap of what we have studied just around two sessions before. So, in that session, we have understood during the preface what we call Srila Prabhupada explained in the preface to achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami, then to become a pure devotee. What does that mean? First of all, we have to become a Goswami. That means we have to bring our senses under control. That means we are the one who have conquered the senses. After achieving Goswami, then becoming a pure devotee. So step before become a pure devotee is, first of all, to become a Goswami. All right. Therefore, one must follow the instruction known as Upadesha Mrita, or the nectar of instruction, which was given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami has also written many books, but Upadesha Mrita constitute the first instruction. It is the first instruction for neophyte. That means for a neophyte, that means when as we are all a beginner, neophyte means beginner. So this is the book that we should always start to delve in and to take up all the instruction. All right. So in text 1, we have read Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jiva Vegam, Udaro Pasta Vegam, Etan Vegan Yo Vishaheta Diraha, Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Sashishyat. So the translation was a sober person who can tolerate the urge of speak, right? The one who can control his speak and the mind's demand, the action of anger and the urges of the tongue. Okay, the tongue is always urging, so who can control, including belly, genital, bellies and genital, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So the qualification of making a disciple all over the world means that means you are a pure devotee. And of course, before you become a pure devotee, you have to be a Goswami. And therefore, in order to become a Goswami, we should be able to tolerate. All right. So as we have discussed, so what is that? Here, Srila Rupa Goswami is not asking you to suppress your desire. All right. He's not asking you to suppress or forget about it or control it. He's just said the word tolerate. All right. Tolerate means what? As long as we have this material body, we have all these 6 urges. We have it. All right. We can't help it. It is there. So when you tolerate, what does it mean by tolerate? All right. Say like if sometimes my spouse make noise, or maybe your husband or your wife make noise, what do? You don't forget. You just tolerate. Shout lah. All right. You don't take into your ears. Sometimes you see your children going out of control. What we do? We just tolerate. Tolerate means what? The thing is there, the effect is there, but you're not getting affected. Okay. Imagine when your wife will start nagging, na. You just, okay lah. Because I'm so familiar with her, she's always like that. Tomorrow she'll be fine. So just tolerate. Tolerate means the urges, the agitation, and all these things are there. We simply tolerate. So tolerate means there's one entity there and I am another entity. When that thing comes, I just ignore, tolerate. So what we can understand from here, so we understand that we are going beyond this bodily. Because as long as we have this body, we have these 24 senses, 24 elements that keep bothering you. So what are those elements? We have already discussed in our Gita Gyan program. All right. But anyway, I just a quick recall. Number 1, we have 5 senses: eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and everything. Number 2, the body is made of 5 elements: air, water, ether, fire, and all these things. Then we have 5 knowledge acquiring senses: eyes, nose. When we see, we acquire knowledge, we by smelling, all right? Then after that, number 4, we have 5 working senses. That is your voice, your 2 hands, 2 legs, your anus and genitals, working senses. Then we have, this is all gross that we can see with our eyes, but something that's subtle we can't see. All right, that subtle that we cannot see, but we can feel. That is mind, intelligence, and ego. All right, mind, intelligence, and ego, that is subtle. There's another thing called pradhana. Pradhana means the 3 mode of material nature, which is unmanifested. Unmanifested means we only get it when we are in that environment. All right. When you associate with sadhus, you'll go into the mode of goodness. All right. When you associate with karmi, because the karmi got nothing else to talk about how to make money and how to improve your life, how to purchase a Mercedes Benz, and how to get a second house as an investment. So these are the things. So you go into in the mode of passion. Then after that, you go and join this group of drunkards and all these things, all the people. So you start to live in the mode of ignorance. So that mode is something that we acquire. It is not given to us. So total, we got 24 elements. All right. So when we are in this body of these 24 elements, and we are living in this body of Navadvara. So another thing is explained in Bhagavad Gita is Navadvara. Navadvara means we have 9 holes in the body. All right. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, missing and yes, and anus and genital, total is 9. Right. So when we are living in this condition, and because we have taken this body and we are conditioned in this material world, sometimes we just cannot get rid of it. We cannot get rid of it. I cannot get rid of my eyes from seeing. I can't get rid of my nose from smelling. I can't get rid of my tongue from eating and tasting. Right. So what Srila Rupa Goswami says, you tolerate them. So when the tolerance will come, when you go beyond this bodily concept. See, when my wife shouts at me, I tolerate her. She's one entity there and I'm one entity here. When she gives, I just tolerate. Similarly, when your senses start to torture you, bother you at this thing, we tolerate. That means we are going out of this body. So that means we are making a distinctive separation. That means I am a spirit soul living in this body, and this body is giving me problem. Right? Say like, for instance, I am driving. This body is like a car. Right? And I am the soul what drives it. So when I'm driving the car and suddenly there's one sound, there's like crocking sound, crack, 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 crack. Even though it's irritating, what we do, we just tolerate. We cannot consider, why the sound come, why the sound of palm, we go and bang another car. So we just simply tolerate and go on driving. So just like that. So he says, so what are the things that we should first tolerate is the urge of speak. Okay, the urge to speak. Whenever you get agitated, don't speak, relax. Second is The mind demand, the mind says, let's do this, let's do that. Relax, okay? Tolerate that. Number 3, action of anger. Whenever we get very pissed off, we get very angry, we tolerate. Then number 4, when the tongue asks something very palatable, we tolerate. So how? We don't give the fleur something very nice, this thing, but we feed the tongue by prasadam. All right? So tolerate. And the demand of the belly and the genital, tolerate. So when you can tolerate all this, you can create disciple all over the world because you have already come to the level of Goswami. Okay? But in order to do that, what is your ultimate qualification you need to have? What is that ultimate qualification? In order to come to the level of tolerance, what is that ultimate qualification? The first one, a sober person. I believe you all have a book. If you look at the book, when it says a sober person who can tolerate, so a person has to be sober. So when the sobriety will come, and a person can be very sober when it comes to the level of self-realization. When he start to realize himself, when he start to realize who is he and what is he, that is beyond this material concept of life, by acquiring knowledge. That's why we have made a point, that reason for this Sastra marathon, that of course, that not everything that you're going to read or study, you're going to remember or practice, but something will trigger you. All right. So that means something like, for instance, there's a positive and negative. All right. That's a distinct, but it's not connected. It's separated. So you need to have the correct wire or something metal to touch it, so the lights start to be on, enlightened. All right. So that's why we are randomly studying and learning, and just like all the rods are falling down, all these things, but something will just fall in that place, and this negative and positive are going to get connected, and you're going to get enlightened. All right. So for that reason, we are studying all. We don't know, because yesterday, what they call, I think she's not here. What's the name? Mataji from Taiping. What's the name? Charuna Lakshmi Mataji was telling, she became a devotee after reading Nectar of Instruction. The first instruction blew her head off, and after that, she decided to become a devotee. Can you imagine? So like that, okay? So like this. So that's what we have studied in things. So we have to be sober person. So now we're going to study the text 2. Okay, the text 2. The second thing, second element, set of activity that can destroy your bhakti. First is, what is the first thing that you should tolerate? You should tolerate all these senses. Then secondly, now we're going to discuss what are the activities that are going to destroy your bhakti. And Srila Rupa Goswami have written 6 of them. Actually, this is the most important instruction. And this text 2, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur have written into essay, into a commentary. And that commentary runs to 98 pages. And he named the book Srila Bhakti Loka. Okay, I've sent to you all that copies. If anyone wants it, please send me because I don't want to send in the group, because I want to get to know you. I want to know who is that with me. So for that reason, that's why I'm asking. So when you send me a request, I will send the PDF to you personally. You take it and print it out. It's 98 pages. If 10 cents per page, it's going to cost you 9 ringgit 80 cents. Plus front and back, I think it's going to cost you less than 15 ringgit. You can have the book printed, because the book is not available in Malaysia. All right. I've seen, I'm not sure, because in Malaysia, we are more into like preaching mood. So the books that we are very commonly we have is Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and these are and other small books. So this is Bhakti Loka, and all these books are not available yet in Malaysia. If you want, you have to buy through Amazon, and it's not an easy process. Of course, certain things they cannot ship to Malaysia. They've got lots of rules and regulations. So you rather just take it and cheta rompa. Because when I was doing my Bhakti Sastri VVIHE, that's what they said. Don't worry, just print it. So I'm just repeating the same instruction. Just print it and keep it. So the expansion of this text 2, we will be discussing after we complete our Nectar of Instruction. All right. After we finish all the instructions of from this, then we go to we study the Bhakti Aloka. And I'm so happy and I'm so grateful that all of you are showing so much of interest in studying all these books. Sometimes I'm wondering, I want to study, who wants it? Usually, all right? So that shows that enthusiasm in Bhakti is still there, all right? So with that meditation, let's start our program. Is there any questions before we start? Anything, have something, anything in mind? I hope you all, so please watch that video again, at least 2-3 times, right? Of course, you just say, I listened to the live class already, no need to follow the revision, all right? It's not that way. So it's always better that you listen to that and also refer to the books that I encourage you to have, okay? Okay, so now let's do this program. Okay, next of instruction. All right, so this is the thing. So when we discuss, if you have any questions, please stop me immediately. Okay. So the nectar of instruction, NOI, the second instruction, Srila Rupa Goswami is explaining. Atyahara prayasascha. Prayasascha. This is called sha. So there's prayasascha. Prajalpo niyamagraha. Jana sangascha. Laulyangcha. Shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyangcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyamcha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyangcha sadbir bhaktir vinashyati. Right? So now, what is the word-to-word translation? Ati ahara. Ati ahara. Ahara means what? In Tamil also, there's a word that we use. Ahara sapadavanga. Ahara. Ahara means ahara ready achi. You know, that's a Brahminical language. Ahara. So ahara means food. So ati ahara means overeating or too much collecting. So how they have translated is like this. So we have to look at this. Either overeating, that means you eat a lot, or too much collecting. That means you too much collect money and all this. Both are also still considered atya ahara. Okay. Prayasa. Prayasa means over endeavoring. Okay, even in Tamil word also we use prayasa padrathu. Yeah, romba prayasa padre. So prayasa means over endeavoring. Cha and prajalpa. Prajalpa means idle talking. In Tamil we call vetti pechi. All right, idle talking. Prajalpa. Niyama. Niyama means rules and regulation. Agraha. Too much attachment to. All right, or too much neglect of. Okay, now this is the word that we're going to discuss quite detailed. So now we see agraha. Agraha means you see the A, there's a dash on top. Okay, I hope you all can see that. There's a A. Agraha. Agraha. That means there's a A. That means there's a okay. So you see the A, there's a dash on top. Agraha means too much attachment. All right, too much attachment. But when you remove the A, you call as agraha. This is agraha. This is agraha. Agraha means too much neglect. So when you put a A in front, too much attachment. When you remove that dash on top, agraha means too much neglect. Okay. Jana sanga. Jana sanga. Jana means janangal. Janangal sangam. Sangamam vechikkirathu. Janathukkitta. So jana sanga means association with worldly minded person. Okay. Laulyam. Laulyam means ardent longing or greed. Okay. Ekam perasai. Okay. Laulyam. Then cha and sadbihi. By these 6. Bhaktihi. Devotional service. Vinashyati is destroyed. So through the 6, the bhakti is destroyed. Okay. So this is the translation we're going to discuss. So Srila Rupa Goswami is saying, Okay, he says, once devotional service is spoiled, okay. So once devotional service is spoiled, when he becomes too entangled in these following 6 activities. So what does it mean? So once devotional service is spoiled, okay, why spoiled? All right, say like for instance, it's spoiled means what? Once say the food is spoiled, we can't take it back. It's gone. Okay, say like you make a very nice dish and the dish becomes spoiled. Even though how nice, you cannot heat it back, you cannot alter it back, you cannot modify it. This thing is gone. Spoil means it's totally, all right? The car is spoiled. So that means it's totally breakdown. Okay. Okay. Now, when you look at this, so what Rupa Goswami said, the once devotional service is spoiled, when it becomes too entangled. Okay. Okay. When it becomes too entangled. Okay. Too entangled. That means too entangled means what? When you become too much attached. So when we are attached to something, we eventually become stuck in it. So when we become too entangled in the 6 following activities. So what we can understand from here in this first word itself, that your devotional service can be spoiled if we become too entangled in the 6 activities. So therefore, what we can understand from here, so this activity is very, very, very important, and we should really pay a very close attention to this. All right. So we have to pay a very close attention to this. So number 1, what are the activities that can destroy your bhakti? All right. It can be seen like as though it's not a big deal, but it is really a big deal. Okay, because this, can you imagine this verse? As I said, Bhakti Vinod Thakur wrote an entire essay in a book. All right. So what are the 6 activities? Number 1 is eating more than necessary. Okay. Number 1, eating more than necessary. Okay. So what is that? The what they call? What is that standard way of eating? All right. So first of all, you must chew. First of all, you take the portion that you want. Okay. Take it in a small portion. Number 1. Number 2, you have to chew your food 16 times. It's not 1, 2, 3, bloop, you swallow. 1, 2, 3, you swallow. No. You have to take the food and put it in your mouth and chew 16 times. So what you can do while chewing, you can chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna has got 16 words. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Let it crush and smash. Totally crushed. Then you swallow. All right. Number 1. Number 2, that you should stop when you get a first burp. You know, when you eat burp, okay, you're done. That's the way that stomach says enough. It's enough, because we must have a quarter food, quarter of water, that is already half, then another half of air in your stomach. So that's when the real digestion starts. All right. So anyway, let's look at this. So eating more than necessary. All right. Eating to the stomach food up to the neck. Okay. Eating more than necessary. Can you imagine the devotional service can spoil? The bhakti can spoil. Number 2, collecting more funds than required. Okay. Eating more than necessary. Number 2, collecting more fund than required. All right. When say like, for instance, when we are in one particular job, that should be sufficient enough. Try to live within that means. But after that, you feel, no, that is not enough. I want to do part-time. Okay. I want to get into some part-time business, like sales business, some MLM business, insurance, and all these things, so that I want to earn more. All right. Like, for instance, sometimes we see the doctors who are working in the morning, and at night they like to go and do locum, or the pharmacists, they like to go and do locum. Why? Because they want to earn more money. All right. So these are the things, collecting more funds than required. What is required for you? Live within that means. All right. Number 2. That is the number 2. Number 2 is over-endeavoring. Over-endeavoring for mundane things. All right. That are very difficult to obtain. Okay. So over-endeavoring, that means when we want to do something, we work so hard, over-endeavor for something which is perishable. I just want you to remember one thing, my dear Prabhus and mothers. this is very important. In fact, this is what I usually even speak in my mind science class. Of course, mind science class is basically from here. I say, do not work so hard for something is going to be perish one day. We are working so hard and sacrificing our life and taking a huge risk for perishable things. I work so hard so that I can buy a huge bungalow. The bungalow will perish one day. I work so hard because I want to drive my dream car, all right? And that car will perish one day, will spoil, will be gone, all right? I work so hard so that I want to have some nice food. Okay, I want to go for fine dining, all right? After that, the next day, everything is gone, destroyed. It will be this thing and all goes to the toilet, will be evacuated from your body. I want to work so hard, so I want to have the best perfume. So after you apply the perfume and next day, you have to go and throw that shirt into the washing. So that few $100 worth, that means because I remember when I once went to London, they said in the Heathrow airport, the guy was telling, one spray costs you around 10 pounds. Imagine how expensive that perfume. All right, one spray equal to 10 pounds. Can you imagine? So people are working so hard to have that. But of course, next day they take the thing and throw it into the washroom. Right? So we are sacrificing our life. We are working so hard for something which is going to be perish one day. But that doesn't mean we are not asking you to become lazy. That's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, do your job, your prescribed duty, and stay in that. Even though it's faulty, do not leave that. Just go on doing that job. Because that's the job that has been prescribed to you. So when we are in that job, of course, whatever task that given to you, you work accordingly. You work accordingly. We do not work some extra, because even your task is going to be over and over, but that's within your job scope. When the thing is within your job scope, keep it that way. But after that, after your job scope, like you are over and over for something. All right. So that's why I say, I remember I was sharing this it's also mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. All right. So don't over and over for something which is very hard to get. Okay. One thing that's supposed to be yours, please keep this in your mind. Keep it in your mind. Write it down. If you have a book and paper, write it down. Paper and pen, write this down. And always dwell on it. Think about it. And at the same time, advise others. Advise your subordinate. Advise your children. Advise your juniors. Tell this. Always remember this. Whatever's supposed to be yours will come to you easily. Whatever is not yours, you have to struggle to get it. When the thing that comes to you easily will stick to you rest of your life. Whatever that you need to struggle to work for it, it will never last. End of the day, you're going to suffer the consequences. All right? Like I have seen so many people who want to daydream, they want to become a doctor. For them, their ambition to become a doctor, even though they are not qualified. They work so hard to become a doctor. After housemanship, after a few years of work, they become so frustrated and they end up in psychiatric clinic. There's so many doctors, so many professionals are coming to psychiatric clinic for treatment. Depression, stress, frustration. And you know what? The biggest thing, you can even ask any doctors. I mean, you just ask, so how do you feel? This is my biggest regret. My biggest regret, right? So that means over-entering for mundane thing. Number three, talking unnecessarily about mundane subject. Okay, talking unnecessarily. Sometimes when you go to meet someone and suddenly they got nothing else to talk and they start to talk something which is, oh, Donald Trump. Like yesterday when I went to KL, my brother-in-law was telling, oh, Donald Trump did this, the Ramaswamy, supposed to be the guy who got sacked. I was just thinking in my heart, what is this guy up to? Then I was just like nodding, and he realized that I was not interested. So this is something that Prajalpa, that means this is something that is very common. When two men get along, they start to talk, they start to debate, and they talk, and even they can even go start quarreling and even start fighting. So talking unnecessary things about mundane subject can spoil your bhakti. And number 4, practicing the rules, scriptural rules and regulation only for the sake of following them. All right, I follow the rules. I follow these rules just for the sake of it. What is that? What is the reason for the rules? For self-development, for restraining, for limiting yourself, so that you can apply it for higher realization. So that means they simply practice the rules and regulation just for the sake of following them, but not for spiritual advancement. All right? Oh, I follow these rules. Why? No, this is the rules. right? Like for instance, Ekadasi. So Ekadasi day, I supposed to refrain myself from taking grains. I should not eat grains. So for their mind on Ekadasi day is 100% dwelling on fasting and diet, fasting. So think about it, okay? Because I'm not blaming anyone, but I am like that. On Ekadasi day, I am fasting. So fasting, okay, fasting means I must make sure that I don't eat this, I don't eat that, you know. Then after that, I become tired. Oh, Ekadasi day, okay, let me go and take a nap. All right. I just can't wait for the next day to break. Once break, walao, time to enjoy. All right. So simply follow the rules, because I know if I take grains on Ekadasi day, all the sins that known in this world will come to me. I'll suffer terrible agony. If I die fasting, I can go back home, back to Godhead. At least I can go to heaven. At least all my prarabdha karma can be destroyed. It's such a fantastic ritual. If not, I have to go and dip in Ganga. Now the Kumbh Mela, you go there, you take a dip there. But you don't even need to do that. You just simply fast on Ekadasi, everything should be fine. So that means they're simply following the rules just for the sake of it. But what is that ultimate meaning for Ekadasi? Ultimate meaning for Ekadasi means when you are fasting, naturally you'll be weak. When you are weak, you do not do something strenuous job. You do not get involved in some kind of active job, right? So and when you are not getting active job, so what do you need to do? And your mind becomes so sober. Exactly the mind when you wake up early in the morning. When you wake up early in the morning, your mind is so fresh. The mind doesn't think anything. Is the mind still blank? Just like that, when you fast, the mind will be blank. So what is the best thing then? Just to encourage yourself to chant more rounds. So that's why Prabhupada says on Ekadasi day, you must chant, but 24 rounds, if I'm not mistaken. 24 rounds. Not 16, 24. All right. On Ekadasi day, you should study more books. That's why even we studied in Gita Gyan, a person who studies Bhagavad Gita on Ekadasi day, he will achieve great success. Why? Because the mind is so sober. It can understand the subject. They will understand what Krishna is trying to say. All right. So that's the thing. So we follow that thing for the sake of advancement in spiritual. But we are always thinking about food, eating what? Okay, smashed potato. Then we'll be wondering, they send message, they go online and check what are the foods that I can eat on Ekadasi day. So now, because we are advancing in Bhakti, okay, I want you all to remember, you're no more in Gita Gyan, you're no more like a beginner. You're already taken your path into serious devotional service. So serious devotional service, that means we are going seriously in this subject matter, all right? So these are the things. So not for the sake of spiritual advancement, but simply this thing. But at the same time, there's another quarter of people, they reject all the rules and regulation. They reject all the rules and this all nonsense. It's all mythology, might, right? Now we are thinking about coming up in life. We have to come up in life. We have to be successful in life. I need to put my children in this kind of school. I need to create this kind of property and wealth. I've been living in this such a poor condition. So they realize this kind of spiritual life is going to be a hindrance. So they reject it. They reject. After they reject all these things, what they do, they work independently. They work as they like. Independently and at the same time, whimsically. All right, whimsically. Then number 5, associating with worldly minded person who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. It's very important. Okay. So associating with worldly minded person who are not interested in Krishna. See, when we are advancing in Krishna consciousness, so we must understand. So what are we trying to control? When we look at any other way of life, spiritual life and everything, you have to do meditation, you have to you have to have some kind of physical appearance. All right. You have to be physical appearance. That means you do yoga, you have to stretch your hand, stretch your leg, do some gymnastic, then after that you have to have some kind of physical activity. But here we are talking about consciousness. The consciousness that cannot be seen, but only can be felt. But that is that fact. All right. The mind, intelligence, ego, we can't see. All right. But when people criticize me, I get angry. Where the anger come from? All right. When somebody says, whenever I see a person which I like so much, some or other, I start to have some kind of loving feeling in my heart, especially when the mothers, when they see a little baby, all right? Like the day when I went to the clinic, when I saw a little child, suddenly the kind of love, I just feel like going and holding the child, all right? But of course, I've that this kind of condition, I cannot touch anyone, of course, that time. So I just refrain myself. So that means when you see, so where did that feeling came from? Where did that feeling? So it's all in your subtle body. But the one that controls all these, the one that you are dwelling, is just, the thing is called consciousness. And where the consciousness come from? It is that ability of the soul. Now I can see the sun here. Why? Because there's a sun globe up there. The sun globe up there, the sun globe is emanating that rays, and through the rays is spreading and all these things. So the whole world seems to be lighten up. Okay. So when we are talking about consciousness, but when we are trying to make it into a God consciousness, which is our natural consciousness, so we call it as Krishna consciousness, this kind of worldly minded people can spoil our consciousness, right? Can spoil it. When they want to know, they start to, so whenever you start associating with them, because they got nothing else to talk other than what is the latest thing, what did Anwar did, what is Najib is doing, what is that fellow doing, what this, they only engage their mind in that kind of thought. All right. So about that 121 million jackpot strike was a big talk, big sensation. Right? They're asking what kind of astrological chart that fellow might have. Then they say, no, this is divided into 4. But they say it's still worth it. You know, 13 million US dollars. I mean, ringgit is settled. Your life is this kind of thing. So when you go there, what our mind think? Wow, I've been praying to Krishna so well. I think Krishna will never bless me, because Krishna is the form of Venkatachalapati, and he always loves to give, and he also known as Varada Raja, Varada Raja, the one who gives, loves to give boons, right? Then you go to Krishna and says, Krishna, I know it's not good, but I get that money, I'm not going to have sense gratification. I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to use for Krishna. Can you, if you don't mind, that's it. I'm telling you this because I have done this. This is not something that I'm expressing from outside. I'm just sharing from my personal experience. All right. I have done it. Can I just try? Just go in front of the the KTM. I'm wondering, should I go in or should not go in? Look left, look right, nobody's around. Then I'll say, okay, I'm inspired. Let's go and do it. I did it once. I did it twice. And after 3 times, things will become habit. You must always remember. And any nonsense thing you want to do, make sure you do it only twice. When you do 3 times, it can become a habit. Once it become a habit, HABIT, you remove H, a beat. Remove A, beat. You remove B, eat. It can never go off. So the 3rd time after Temple Sunday program, I was driving back. Suddenly I was looking, I saw that the one number was keep repeating, and I went to that place, all right, along the Palangsa Road. I went to that the place. I went in, I looked left, I looked right, nobody around, I went in. But I was wearing a dhoti and kurta and tilak. I went in, I said, oh Krishna, I hope nobody sees me. Went in, churi, went and bought the number. And you know what happened? The lady sitting in this thing, he says, I have not seen a Hare Krishna devotee to come to buy number. I got a shock. Then I looked up. I said, Alama, it's an Indian lady. She said, I have not seen an Hare Krishna devotee to come and buy number. You know, I was like, felt like a tie slap. I said, ayyo. Then after that, she said, anyway, you people are very nice people. I pray to Krishna that you strike this number so you can go on doing so many good things. Here, your number. Then I was just telling myself, what a disgrace. And I stopped ever since. But after that, see, your mind will still trick you. The mind says, well, I go there, she look at me, at least she chant Hare Krishna, and she says she pray to Krishna that you will get the number. You understand what I mean? But of course, it's all bogus. All right. But what I'm saying is, when we start to associate with people who are always talking about number, somehow or other you get lured in. So you have to be very, very careful. Then number 6 is being greedy for mundane achievement. All that mundane achievement, all the things that we achieve in life. All right. Like for instance, when I was doing a business, I was like so much into dattaship. All right. I was just thinking, I really want to get a datto. And I spent so much of money. End of the day, money gone, everything is gone. It became a daydream. All right. I'm just telling myself, wow, dattaship, wow, I got to have power. So this kind of thing, being greedy for mundane achievement. Because this verse 2 was the worst for me, actually. It is a worst for me. All right. When I try to do things, all the things, so it's a verse for me, then I realize, all right. So this is the verse that actually, then when I reflect back, when I start write my journaling, I start to realize how much my life has been spoiled with these 6 things. So these are the 6 steps. Imagine how grave and wise Rupa Goswami is. How super intelligent he is that you could just identify this is the 6 things that can destroy, not to say destroy, spoil, will spoil. These are the things can spoil your bhakti. All right. So this is the topic that we're going to discuss today. So before we continue, is there any questions? Any comment? All good? If it's good, you just can put a thumbs up so I know. Okay, great. All right. So now it's already 9:58. Shall we just take a short break, a 2 minutes break? Because before we go into that, because once we start this purport, I don't think so we can take a break because it's so addictive and so fascinating. Shall we just take a quick break, 2 minutes? Is that okay with everyone? Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right, great.
Okay.
So let's take a short break and we come back. Okay, so welcome again. So now, so as we said that how the one's devotional service can be spoiled, okay? So now let's look at that purport, the first paragraph. Of course, today this paragraph is quite long and I also don't feel like rushing into it. So we try to break the paragraph into 2 sessions. So today we do session 1 and tomorrow we do session 2, okay? Then of course, after we complete our, what they call nectar of instruction, then what we do, we continue with Bhakti Aloka, that we can go even more deeper into this verse 2. Okay, like what Prabhupada is explaining. Okay, let's start. Human life is meant for plain living and high thinking. That is what human life is meant of. Okay, live simply. When we look at all this time immemorial, see, looking at our grandfather, our great-great-grandfather, if you have seen, I've seen my grandfather, they all, even though that how opulent they are, but they always like to live a simple life. All right. So simple life. But of course, they don't have the facility to think higher because they always so much into business and money. All right. So human life is meant for plain living. All right. Live just a plain life, simple life. And after that, you use your intelligence for higher thinking. But now we want to have a lavish life. In order to in order to achieve that lavishness, we are using our thinking capacity, how to enjoy and how to accumulate lavishly. All right. Since all conditioned living beings are under the control of the Lord's third energy, okay, which is called the material world, right? Which designed so that one is obliged to work. So now, how we can understand this? So all conditioned living beings. So what is that conditioned living? What does it mean? Condition, first of all. Okay, we have explained in Gita Gyan. So condition means we are conditioning. Example, now I'm living in this body and I start to feel I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a husband. All right, I'm an Indian, I'm living in Malaysia, I'm staying in Ipoh. So these are the things that conditioning. All right, conditioning. So if I go to KL, I can't tolerate, why so much jam? What is this? So many cars. This is not my place. Because I've been conditioned in Ipoh. So like that, we are all conditioned. All right. So we are under the control of Lord's third energy. What is that energy? Can anyone tell me? We have discussed this very detailed in this thing. Can anyone tell me what is that Lord's third energy? Anyone? K7? Yes, I saw you unmuting. Anyone? Oh, I'm sending message. Not Maya. Maya is there, but what is the third energy? Maya is the superintendent, the one that controls everything. But what is the third energy of Krishna? Anybody? There are 3 energies of the Lord. What are they? Anyone? Okay, what is marginal energy, K7? Marginal energy is which one? Exactly, external energy. External energy is the energy number 3. All right. So that is external energy. Okay. Marginal is second energy, that in between. We living entities, right? But what Prabhupada is saying, since all condition living under the control of the Lord's third energy. So Lord's third energy means all this material world. Okay, this material world. So material world means this is. So what we call the third energy of the Lord, we call it as the external energy. Are you all following me? Okay. The third energy of the Lord of this thing is okay. Okay. The third energy is this thing called the material world. And what we call this, we call as the external energy is, that means material energy. Okay. So the external energy is means material energy. Everyone following me on this? Okay. So the external energy is called the material energy. So what is that first energy we call internal energy? Internal energy means Ladini Shakti, the Lord's internal energy. Marginal energy means we living entity, which is in between of spiritual and material. In between means we have a material body, but we are spiritual beings. So in between, sandwiched. So the third energy is called the material energy. All right. For those who have not know this, I believe that all of you have having a pen and a book that you are taking notes. Please take note of this. All right. Please write it down. The third energy of the Lord is called external energy, which is also known as the marginal energy. All right. Now, so now what happened? In this place, okay, one is obliged to work. We have to work. Okay, we have to work. Because without working, as what Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, without working, you can't even manage your body. You can't even maintain your body. Remember that? The verse, I think it's in chapter 3. All right. One cannot even maintain the body by not working. You have to work. So it's designed in that way that one is obliged to work. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead has three plenary energy. Okay, three energy or potency. So what is that first potency? Now it's mentioning Antaranga Shakti. Write it down. If you have a book, Antaranga Shakti, or if you have a Nectar of Instruction book in front of you, you don't highlight it, just underline with a pencil. Because sometimes somebody else is going to read your book. Of course, it's going to be very deceiving. So don't highlight. Just take a pencil and just mark it down there. Antaranga Shakti. So now we have learned something new. Antaranga Shakti. What is Antaranga Shakti? Means internal potency. All right. Another name of Antaranga Shakti is what? All right. What is that? Another term for Antaranga Shakti? We call it as Ladini. We also call it as Ladini Shakti. All right. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, the word Hare is actually Ladini Shakti, the internal potency of Krishna. Okay. So then what happened? The internal potency, see, Krishna, everything is full of knowledge. Okay, full of knowledge. That means everything. So the peacock, the thing, everything is full of knowledge. Just like in Sri Vaishnava, the chakra appeared as Ramanujacharya. All right. The Sangha appeared as something else. All that, what they call? The Ananda Shesha. Ananda Shesha, the snake, came in the form of Balaram or Nityananda. So everything is there. Therefore, the Ladini Shakti got another thing. Who is that Ladini Shakti? The Ladini Shakti is also called as Radha Rani. Okay. We call as Radha Rani. I hope you all can see this. All right. It's also known as Radha Rani, Ladini Shakti. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are begging the Antaranga Shakti or internal potency, Ladini, who is also Radha Rani, because she is the one, is the proprietor of everything. So we are begging the Hare, this internal potency, to engage us or to show us the beauty of Krishna. Krishna means beauty, the most beautiful one. Right? So that means we are begging, please engage me in that service of Krishna who is most attractive. Then, of course, Hare Rama. Rama means Abhirama, the reservoir of pleasure. So who holds that beauty and pleasure? Who is the one that in charge of holding it? Internal Sakti Ladini or Radharani. So when we chant Hare Krishna, Radharani gives us that boon that we also can relish the most beautiful person and the reservoir of all pleasure. Okay. So thumbs up, everyone. Anyone following me on this? So if you keep going on thumbs up, then I know that you are all participating. It is more interesting in that way, right? I know you all are listening and are working and everything, but just a little thumbs up will encourage me. Okay, now, so now, okay, internal. The second is called as Tatastha Shakti. Tatastha Shakti. And what is a Tatastha Shakti? We call as marginal potency. And who's Tatastha? Who is Tatastha Shakti? So we. So now, who is the okay, right? Who is that Tatastha Shakti, right? Or the marginal potency. That means the one is living entity. Living entity means everything, not only human being. All the living entities are known as the Tatastha Shakti. Okay, you are following me on this? Great. So now, so we understand Tatastha Shakti or marginal potency. Why we are known as living entity? Because we are in between. That means we are given a spiritual body. Spiritual, our soul is spiritual, which is Satchit Ananda Vigraha, just like Krishna. Of course, we are minute. We always remember that we are minute, but we are living in this material form of body, which is called Bahiranga Shakti. Bahiranga Shakti means the external potency. All right. The Bahiranga Shakti means the external potency of the Lord. So where we can find it, this is the what I meant. Bahiranga Shakti, or the external potency of Sri Krishna. Okay. Now we understand this. All right. If you if you have a book, write it down. Okay. The three types of Shakti: Antaranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti. So Antaranga Shakti means the internal potency. Tatastha Shakti means marginal. Bahiranga Shakti means external. All right. So Antaranga Shakti means Radharani or Hladini Shakti. Tatastha Shakti means all living entity, including you, me, the plants, trees, and cockroach, the worms, and everything. And Bahiranga Shakti means the external potency, which is the material nature that we are living in. Okay. So the living entities constitute of the marginal potency. All right. As I say just now, the living entities is the marginal potency. And they are situated between the internal and external potency. Prabhupada is explaining. All right. So we are situated in between the internal and the external. So being subordinate as external servant, being subordinate of as eternal servant, right? So what does that mean? We are subordinate as eternal servant. That means we are subordinate of Krishna. Who is subordinate? See, sometimes we say, right? When a person that we in the same line, we call them as colleagues, right? But when a person that is beyond me, say, I'm a manager and I got a supervisor and I got a what they call a line leader and all this. I don't call them as colleague. Okay, nowadays people are calling, but those we call is subordinate, subordinate. So I am this thing is sub. That means below me is subordinate, right? He's part of. That means in other words, he's not same level with me, but he is considered in the level of servant to me, all right, or my staff's subordinate. So similarly, Prabhupada is explaining. Prabhupada is very genius. If you really study Srila Prabhupada's book, The Purport, you will get mesmerized. Genius. The word that Prabhupada used is beyond human endeavor. All right. So being subordinate as eternal servant. So we are subordinate. That means we are subordinate of Krishna and we are the eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Remember this? Keep this. Hammer it in your mind. That I am subordinate and I am an eternal servant of Krishna. And of course, in Bhagavad Gita also we studied that all of us we have an intimate relationship with Krishna. Intimate relationship. That means we have a close relationship with the Lord. So just like how the father and son got a close relationship, intimate relationship, very close. how a man and a woman have an intimate relationship. Like that, we also have that kind of relationship. Remember this, because this remembrance will inspire you. That this remembrance will start to feel that you will start to think that we are beyond this body, you're beyond this material world. But the problem is we are given this body which is limiting our capability, right? We are we are limited with our capacity. Just like all that first class intellectual scientists and all these people are born in India. So the India couldn't provide them. They are so limited. Therefore, they're all running to America because the America give you unlimited. What your skill, you can flourish. There's no limit to your district. But in India, all these highly qualified people, the scientists, IT guys, who are super duper intelligent, all right? They don't have much of, even in Malaysia, we also don't have much opportunity here, all right? So because like that, so similarly, we are subordinate. We are eternal servant of the Lord. But the problem is we are living in this, what? In this Bahiranga Shakti. We are limited with this Bahiranga, the external potency. The nature is also limited. But after that, this body also is so limited, right? We have given all these senses our eyes cannot see. Just like when you drive at night, my mentor Fran Govinda Prabhu from Alachua, USA, I was listening to his class I think yesterday. He was telling, when you are driving at night, how far can you see? You only can see how far your front light, your car light can go. You cannot see beyond that. How far your car light shines and reflects, and that is far you can see. So we are all so limited. Even though we are Bahiranga Shakti, we are in between. We have that, what they call the spiritual potency. All right. So we are the subordinate or as eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So always remember that. So when you remember this, what you can feel that you are beyond this, you are beyond this perception. Nothing in this world can lure you. Nothing in this world can make you excited. All right. Whatever things that you do, I'm just doing for a matter of job, matter of duty, because I know I'm beyond this. In Bhagavad Gita, we have studied what we have studied in, I think, in chapter 5, the perfection of renunciation. I think chapter 5 or 18, somewhere there we have studied. Remember, no, we have studied about externally you are engaging, internally you have renounced. All right. Externally, I'm just doing my job, doing everything. But internally, I am renounced. Which chapter is that? I think it's chapter 8 or something like that. I mean, memory. So anyway, so that means what we can understand. So we are subordinate as eternal servant of the Supreme Personality. There. So the Jivatma, and again, Prabhupada explained, what is Jivatma? The atomic living entity. So why we call it as atomic? We are so tiny. All right, in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, what Krishna explained. All right, in Sankhya Yoga, Sankhya principle, what he says, the soul, it is immutable, indestructible, can't be destroyed, cannot be withered by the wind, and the soul is eternal. And what is the size of the soul? You take the tip of your hair, the tip, not the real hair, the strand, the tip of the strand, you divide it into 10,000 pieces. That's the size of the soul, which we can't even see it in the most powerful microscope. We can't even see that. All right. So we are Jivatma, or the atomic living entity. Must remain under the control of what? Either the eternal or the external potency. You only have two choice. You only have how many choice? You only given two choice. Okay. So what are the choices that you have? All right. The choice that given to you is only two. Okay. And that is either the living entity either remain in this, what they call, either they remain in the, okay, well, let me see. All right. The subordinate eternal servant or atomic, either they remain with that Ashtanga Shakti or the internal potency, or they remain with Bahiranga Shakti or the external potency. You only can choose one. You cannot have both, this or that. So you have only two choices. Either you're going to be in Antaranga Shakti, which is the internal potency of the Lord, or you're going to stuck with this external potency of the Lord. That's why we are given this body, which is marginal, whereby we can simply make a decision where we want to be. All right, where you want to be. Even you can't make a decision, you are not kept in a neutral place, you are thrown in Bahiranga Shakti or the external potency. All right. So that's why he says we must remain under the control, either internal or external potency. When they are under the control of internal, what happens if when they are under the control of the internal potency? All right. So what they say, they display their natural constitutional activity. This is amazing. This is super amazing. So when we are under the control of internal potency or Antaranga Shakti, we display our natural constitutional activity. So we are thinking we are natural. Actually, we are not natural. We are living in an artificial way of life. Right? We are living an artificial way of life. So what is that internal? Okay. So we are in this artificial environment. Okay. Because he says that once we are under the internal potency or our origin, this is we display the natural and constitutional or our original activity. And what is that? Constant engagement in devotional service of the Lord. This is that the constant engagement. That's why we have seen a person can come from any kind of background. They can be crazy. They can be what? They can even what do you call drug addict. They can just name it. Just name it. Any horrible background. But once they come in contact with devotee and come into the self-realization that I am an atomic person and I am living in this material world and I am what they call I am this what do you call Tatastha Shakti. That means I am in between the spiritual and material, and I am Jivatma and a part of this internal potency of Krishna, right? So when they start to understand that, right, and they start to practice that, when they start to practice all their anarthas means unwanted things, drugs, sex, laziness, dullness, long hair, dirt, just name it, punk, all these things will be thrown out. Meat, alcohol, everything just goes off naturally. And when that all this thing goes off, they come and display the natural self. And the natural self of every human being, first they are under the devotional service of the Lord. When they are under the devotional service of the Lord, they constantly engage. They are constantly engaged. Then after that, all the good qualities will start to come to him. Compassion, truthfulness, all right? Mercy. Then name it what? You know, in Bhagavad Gita 13.12. 13.12. All right? Got a Bhagavad Gita with you? Let me see. 13.12. Anyone got a Bhagavad Gita with you? You want to read? Yes, 13.12. Okay, what Krishna says here? Amanitvam adambitvam ahimsa shantir arjam. Okay, let me just read the translation. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of the object of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil of birth and death, old age and disease, detachment, freedom from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even-mindedness, amid pleasant and unpleasant event, constantly and unalloyed devotion to me, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, philosophical search for the absolute truth. All these I declare to be knowledge, and beside these, whatever they may be, is ignorance. Krishna said that in 13.12. All right, if you got a Bhagavad Gita, just look at 13.12. So Krishna says that. So that means when we start to have all these kind of good qualities, then after that, what happened? The devotees will start to become compassion. So when they start to get compassion, when they start to see other living entity who are still loitering around in ignorance, forgetting their greatness, is just like a eagle suddenly drop the egg into the chicken den, this thing, and some or other the chicken made the thing and the egg hatched. So who born from that egg? Eagle, right? But the eagle start to believe, oh, I am a chicken, and start to live like a chicken. So when another eagle sees that, oh my God, what is this? He's supposed to be eagle. He's supposed to be soaring the sky, the king of the sky. And now the flood like scratching the earth and eating some worms. Oh my God. So like that. So what happened? So like that, the devotees start to feel compassion. They go and encourage others. Please don't stay here. Come out. So how you should say it? The 5 things Krishna also says, the austerity of the speech. Speak the truth. Speak the truth as it is. Number 2, how are you going to speak the truth? Speak it, what they call, in a very favorable way. And number three. So number 3 is the truth must be beneficial. If I'm going to tell the truth to you, it has to be beneficial. And number 4, if it's going to agitate a person by learning the truth, don't even speak the truth. All right. So don't speak. That's why sometimes when we see when devotee, when they first start joining in, you say, look here, just chant Hare Krishna enough. You know, of course, we are trying to be very amicable. I just chant Hare Krishna. Try and see. Hey, I feel good. Feel good. Okay, now what do you do? Just don't worry about others. No, there's so many rules and regulations. Prabhu, I cannot, it's okay. I cannot wake up in the morning. It's okay. Prabhu, I cannot give up meat. It's okay. Prabhu, I cannot give up alcohol. It's okay. Just follow the RDC formula. Don't worry about anything else. Read Bhagavad Gita every single day without fail. Number 2, distribute the Bhagavad Gita. Try to talk to someone, have that Bhagavad Gita, because you want to come out from your condition. The Bhagavad Gita reading and distributing going to help you a lot. All right, fine. And number 3, chant your 16 rounds every day without fail. 16 rounds? Yes. Can I do 2 rounds? No. Can I do 4 rounds? No. Can I do 10 rounds? No. 16. Oh, you, it's so much. It's okay. Do in 4 installments. Morning 4, afternoon 4, evening 4, and night 4. Can. Oh, that should be nice. Okay, I think that should be fine. So like that, when they start to develop the taste and so the truth, and we are saying in this. So that's the thing. So when they start to display the natural constitutional activity, they engage in the service, they become so attracted to Krishna. At the same time, they still go out and preach the gospel of this Krishna consciousness. Now let's move on. So now in 19.13, okay. So what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Prabhupada is quoting this. He says, is this, okay, now what he says, Mahatmanastu mam partha, daivim prakritim ashrita, bhajanti ananya manaso, nyatva bhutadim avyayam. Mahatma means great soul, right? And they are under the protection Daivi Prakritim. Prakriti means nature. Daivi means divine nature. Oh, son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, all right, they are not deluded, or in other words, sober. The greats, who are the great soul, Mahatma, are under the protection of my divine nature. Daivim Prakritim. They are under the protection of my divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality, original and inexhaustible. So when that's supposed to be your natural tendency, when they realize it, they engage in that such service, right? So these are the things. So they are under the protection of divine nature. So after this, you have no worries about your 7.5. You have no worries about 9 planets sitting in which area and staring at each other, fighting or quarreling. When they start quarreling, we suffer. You know that's 9 planets, Navagraha. They don't even look at each other. If you go to temple, any temple, you can see them. They're all looking at different, they don't even look at each other's face. But what happens when they go face to face? Finish, problem. When these fellows go into that house, you suffer. When these fellows, Guru, and go to that house, you suffer. So we have no worries about this. We have no worries about, like, something may happen to me, something undistinct. No, we have no worries actually, because why? Because Krishna says, because you are, what they call, under the protection of the divine nature. All right. But now the question is, I am not a Mahatma. Lama, howla? I'm just starting to be a devotee. I am not a Mahatma. I am not this. No, you're not that. It doesn't mean that way. Right? Of course, if you become a great, the level of your surrender and the level of your improvement in bhakti, you are rewarded accordingly. Yes or not? Huh? But As long as you surrender to Krishna, you are automatically under the divine protection, under the divine nature. I have seen so many examples. All right. As long as you surrender to Krishna, you are automatically. See, Krishna wants us back so badly. If you really know it or not, right? That is why he keeps sending acharyas, sending all his empowered devotees to go around and preach and bring them, make them realize you are sitting in a wrong place. Your house is over there, you know. Or in other words, in analogy, what I usually love to give this quote is like fishing. You know, when you throw a bait, right? Say happens you get a big fish. When you catch a very big fish, you cannot pull it out. It will break, right? You also won't have that energy to hold it. So what you need to do? Let go and pull, all right? The fly is already entangled. The hook is already there. So let go and you pull, the thing even get even deeper. It gets even deeper. It gets even deeper until the hook really deeply connected on the pellet. Until the fish will be in great pain. Eventually, the fish will become tired and you pull without getting restrained. So when once we have taken, so similarly, we have already taken the Krishna's bait. So the more you go to run, Krishna will let you go, he'll pull you back. You can never escape. Because you know why? He's so desperate. There's one story in one of the Puranas, but I've totally forgotten where. Because I used to quote this, my favorite story. A person suddenly, okay, just to cut the story short, he was, after a devotee left, passed away, he went to Vaikuntha Loka. After he went to Vaikuntha, all right, he went there and immediately he rushed to see Lord Narayana. He will rush to see, where's my Lord? Where's my Lord? And Lord Narayana was sleeping on the Ananda Shesha, and Mahalakshmi was massaging his leg. He was sitting there. And suddenly that devotee came in front of the Lord and says, my Lord, Narayana, Mahavishnu, I'm here. And you know what? And you know what the Lord did? With the tears in his eyes. Whose eyes? The Lord's eye. The tears in his eyes. He looked at him with so much of compassion and regret. He just asked this word. He said, what took you long? Think about it. He said, what took you long? When you put one step on one baby step, Krishna will take 9 big leaps to you. He wants you back very, very badly. He just said, what took you long? I missed you so much. So like that. So as long as we have already taken up this path of bhakti, we are automatically under the protection of the divine nature. And am I a great soul? Upcoming great soul. Upcoming. Right? It's not to say you will never be. You are on your process. How are you going to be great? By throwing all the unwanted things from your life. Okay? How am I? See, I fall in the mud. Right? I fall in the mud and I've been living in the mud. I fainted in the mud. And suddenly I got my consciousness. I got up. All the mud that stuck around my body became so hard. I tried to break it, also cannot. So how? I cannot put pressure because it can even peel my skin off. So I have to like tuck, 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 slowly. So then in front of me, there's one big temple. All right. I am the disciple of that. I'm a devotee of the temple. I cannot go with this kind of body into that. So before I could go there, I have to bathe. I have to make sure I'm very clean before I go in. So that means my vision is in that temple. All right. My progress is walking the street. I mean, I just know I need to walk and reach there. But my condition is absolutely abominable. It's extremely dirty, extremely stuck. So I need to sit in one place. I need to look for ways to clean myself. All right. When the rain comes, I must soak myself. So all that mud will somehow or other will dilute it out. After the thing dilute out, then I have to wash myself. And the stain will be still there. Then after some process, after you become extremely clean, then you go into the temple. So that means once you have taken this path, we have so much of anarthas in our body. Now we are creating the process of cleansing them because we are on the way. And once we go on that path, you are already Mahatma, right? You are all Mahatmas, the great souls. The only thing, the process of cleaning is starting now, right? So while you are process of cleaning, you are still under the protection of the divine nature. So what they do, they fully engage in devotional service because they know me as a Supreme Lord, all right? So now let's look at the second paragraph. The word Mahatma. So what is that Mahatma means here? Okay, that's another important thing because we are always referring a wrong person as Mahatma, all right? Mahatma. So now we're going to study two types of Atma, Mahatma and Duratma. What does it mean? So the word Mahatma refers to those who are broad-minded and not cripple-minded. Okay, they are the broad-minded people. They are not the cripple-minded. Okay, so cripple-minded person always engage in satisfying their senses. They are full-time job to satisfy their senses. First thing, wake up in the morning, scroll Facebook, satisfying the eyes to see something. You know, when you're looking at Facebook, you're looking at somebody's life. Somebody's boasting about their life. See, I went to this country and I know there's this thing. Then after that, not enough, go and open TikTok. Then what is actually, they say go to the TikTok. I say, what is the biggest attraction in TikTok? The ladies will be dancing in a skimpy dress, satisfying the eyes, satisfying the ear with some kind of stupid song, you know. Because once I had a TikTok and I was wondering, because I'm a very curious person. I just want to see what is it. That's one is life. That's one girl in a tight dress. She'll be like looking left, looking right, then looking down. Hello, welcome. Then suddenly they say, hello, Padita Tarna, welcome. Nice to meet you. I love you. I say, how she knows me? You know, that's when I start to realize it's life. So when I enter, my name is there. And she said, hello, Padita Tarna. I know, I'm so happy to see you. I love you. So these kind of crazy things. So when they think about, wow, who's this? Then I reply. I didn't reply, but just as you. And you get to think. So we are all engaged in satisfying the senses from the day we wake up. Then after that, we brush our teeth, go down. Oh, what is the breakfast? All right, with a hot cup of coffee and with this, satisfy your tongue. Right? So from the day until we go to bed, we are engaged in satisfying our senses. And sometimes expand the activities in order to good for others through some ism, right? And not only they satisfy this thing, but sometimes, you know what they do? They expand their sense gratification by doing good to others through some ism. All right, ism means what? Like nationalism, humanitarianism, altruism. All right, so sometimes when they have some money, what they do, they go and take this thing and they start to cook food, and they like to give in the thing on in the work of humanitarianism, okay, well, how to spell? Not entering my tongue. Where is it? Humanitarianism. Okay, humanitarianism. All right, all kind of ism. All right, like recently there's one organization helped to send money to Gaza. So this one particular corporate company called them up and told them, no, not them. I think they are the kitchen or something, the soup kitchen or something like that. These are the people who every day they cook some food and they go to in KL and they feed all that homeless people. I don't know, I forgot their name. So what happened? This one particular company called them up. They say, I'm willing to give you 100,000 ringgit. But so please come and collect the check on this day. We have already created the mock check. The mock check means the big check. We have already created the mock check. We have already prepared everything. Please come and collect the check. And the check, and you just need to say something about our company. Right? Oh, this company is such a good company, because they are so kind enough to help us. Thank you so much, so and so. But that person, the person in charge, he's a man of his honor. I really respect him for that. He rejected that offer. And when he rejected the offer, it became like an issue. He said, I am here not selling or not gaining any popularity. I'm here to feed the poor. So like that. So sometimes when they have some money, there's not enough, they go do other kind of this thing, nationalism and humanitarianism and altruism. For what? So that they can get more name and fame. Oh, this guy, Dato, this Dato is something great. Sometimes when you do enough good things, you're going to get Dato Shipla, that Shipla, this Shipla, all kind of ship. All right. So for that reason. And they may reject personal sense gratification for the sense gratification of others, like the member. Okay, sometimes. And who is the third kind of person? They may reject the personal sense gratification. They reject personal sense gratification to satisfy the sense gratification of others. Right? Like myself, I'm sacrificing myself. I'm sacrificing my life, my happiness, just to satisfy my family members. Make sure that all of them have a good food to eat. Like some parents sacrifice their life for the sake of children. But that is, I'm not saying that is wrong, but nowadays it's becoming a very norm that the children, at the end of the day, they're not even looking back. Right? When I was young, I used to love to go to this Salvation Army old folks home. Because I'm a very curious person by nature. So one day it was near my house, so I just cycled. I went there. I was, I think, around 16 or 17 years old. I went there. Then I'd like to talk to old people. There's one man around 96, 97 years old. All right, a Chinese man, a thin, tall. You look like real aristocrat. Then I asked him, "So, uncle, what were you before?" "Oh, I'm a British officer. During the World War II, I've been given OBE on the British Empire, something like that. Order of British Empire. I was the candidate for that." I said, "Why?" "Because during that World War II, I could save all that document and I hide it. I hide all that crucial document the British left. And once they came back, I gave it to them and they were and he was so proud. 95-year-old man, so proud of his life, right? Then after they saying, "No, I got this, I got that. I've been working for that, that British Land Office. Because of that, my children were given a full scholarship to study in London." Then I asked him, "Where are your children now?" "Well, they have flown from the nest." So after talking all this thing, it made him so happy. He was like so proud. He was talking about all the World War II, all the story. At last, I asked the last question, "Uncle, what went wrong?" "Yeah." "Yeah" means, excuse me, like in the old English, they say, "Yeah." Say, "What went wrong?" "What do you mean? Why are you here? What went wrong?" He just think about it with some little tears from his eyes. He said, "I failed to love my children." Right? So like that. So they work so hard for them and everything. End of the day, the children are all so successful, they throw him in the old folks home. Until I talked to that the person in charge. He said, "No, the children hated him so much. They even said, if he die, don't even call us." Right? They even give advance. If he dies, how much you need to spend? Take the money. When the fellow die, cremate him or bury him or whatever you want to do. Please, the money now. Not enough, call us, we'll send you more. So that's the thing. So sometimes they give up that send for the member of the family and member of the community or society. This is my community, this is my society, and people are willing to die for it, right? Either national or international, or actually all these extended sense gratification, Why? For the satisfying the senses. So when we can say, "Oh, that is the patriotism, that is the my people, my community," like what you call Nelson Mandela, my community, my people, this and that. But actually, all these boils down to sense gratification. So from personal to communal or to society, these may be all very good from material point of view. Yes, material point of view, everything seems to be, it's very good. Yeah, very good. People remember like Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, we remember him. But such activities have no spiritual value. No spiritual. What is the spiritual value? They'll worship. See, like for instance, Rupa Goswami wrote this book around 500 years ago. Till today, we worship him and adore him and study what he has said. Srila Prabhupada wrote this around, I'm 47, 46 years ago. He left this world. But till today, we adore him, we study him. But Mahatma Gandhi was short dead and everything, nobody bothers him. Right? So what we can see, or we only can see him in the what they call in the Indian currency, and that also we don't pay attention also, right? We also don't pay attention to. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, whatever it is, material point of view is good, but this kind of activity no spiritual value. So because you have spiritual value, you'll be remembered forever. The basis of such activity, that means the fundamental of such activity is sense gratification. To satisfy your senses, your good feeling, your right? So either it is personal or extended. Now you'll understand. So we are talking about extended editing. So only when a person gratifies the senses of the Supreme Lord can he be called Mahatma or the broad-minded person, right? So when a person satisfies the senses of Krishna, right, he can be called as Mahatma or the broad-minded person. So what is the sense gratification? Krishna got another name called Govinda. Govinda means he's the master of cows. Go. There's another name called Go. That's why a cow we call Go. That's why we call Go Seva, Go Mother. First thing, there's a Go. Second meaning for Go means senses, like Go Swami. Go means senses. So the one that the supreme owner of all the senses, Govinda. So when we satisfy Govinda, we are known or called as Mahatma or the broad-minded person. If it's not the opposite of Mahatma, we are known as the cripple-minded, and we are known as Duratma. Duratma. All right? Or Dur means miser. That's why this place is called Durka Dam. So Dur is a miser. Dam means place. So miser place, miserable place. Right? Okay. Any question so far? We have just covered the first thing on this thing. Is there any questions, any comment? Any realization? Okay, realization later you can put in the group. So, good. We continue. Are you all there? Thumbs up. Tell them thumbs up. And that, who's that? Who's there? Who said that? Oh, Vivan. Okay. All right. Yeah, when I hear someone speaking, I'm excited. But let me tell you my style of giving class. Okay, my style of giving class for those who are seeing me for the first time, all right? There's some of you are seeing me for the first time. My style of giving class, I love you asking question. I will never stop you from asking question, and I will never run away from your question. Even the question can be challenging or even can be very confusing. If I don't know, I will just humbly say don't know, and I'll try to get it and try to reply you. So don't feel bad, all right? Like sometimes they say, you're asking too many questions. You're like, no, please. You ask 100 questions, I will answer you 100 questions. I love people asking questions. Please don't feel bad. You can raise your hand. You can even stop me. You can even pop. You can write down your question on your chat box. I love to answer your question. Or if you have anything that after a while you are watching this video, suddenly you feel, hey, I got this question. Please don't hesitate to ask your question in the group, or you can even send me personally. I love people asking questions. All right. Don't think, because you know why? When I answer you, I am learning. Right? Okay. Now, okay. So we have already finished the first part. So we understand if there's only two things, either I'm a Mahatma or I am a Duratma. So that means, so we understand the sense gratification, we think it's only for us. No, even extended. We are sacrificing for someone else, which is this thing. Okay. Now we are coming to the third paragraph. The third paragraph is, okay, in the above quoted verse from Bhagavad Gita. What is that above quoted verse? This verse, Mahatmanas tu mam partha, right? So in the above quoted verse of Bhagavad Gita, okay, and then Prabhupada is explaining this, all right? Verse of Bhagavad Gita, the word Daivim Prakritim referred to control of the internal potency or the pleasure potency, right? So the Daivim Prakritim, of course, we have read the translation as Daivim means divine, Prakriti means nature. So now what is the divine nature? So refer to the control of the internal potency. So who controls the internal potency? Come on, anyone? Quickly. Put a note or just unmute yourself and just shout out. Who controls the internal potency?
Maya.
Maya?
Antaranga Shakti.
Yes, who's that? What is that? What is Antaranga Shakti? What?
Ladini.
And what is Ladini?
Internal potency.
Yeah, who is that?
Radharani.
Yes, wonderful. Haribol, Radha Rani. So she is the one who keeps the husband Krishna under control, just like how the wife controls the husband. Right? So the wife controls the husband through that localized internal Shakti, right? Yes, Radharani, correct, Prabhu, Skandabalan Prabhu. So that means she controls the control of the internal potency. And what Prabhupada explained here, oh, I'm getting so excited talking about it. The control of the internal potency is also known as what? Hari Bol. The control of internal potency, it is also known as the pleasure potency. Okay. So what we can understand from here, Radharani is also controls this thing. Okay. First, we understand the internal potency. The internal potency is called Ladini potency. And Ladini potency is also known as Radharani. And Radharani is the controller of the pleasure potency of the Lord. All right. The pleasure potency of the Lord. When Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was wondering, Radha, why do you love me so much? Why all the gopis love me so much? What do I have? Well, Radharani says, well, all this has to be experienced. It is not to be understood. Really? All right. I will go down into this material world in the form of a devotee, and I just want to experience your pleasure potency. All right. I want to go down and experience. So therefore, he came in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Radharani says, well, Krishna, you can never survive in this material. Can you imagine? Radharani is telling. Radharani is informing Krishna, you can never survive in material world. Who created this entire universe? His external potency. Who is that? The proprietor, the supreme personality of God, it's Sri Krishna himself. And he says he wants to come here. And the internal potency, the controller of his pleasure, he says, you can never survive. Huh? Really? Yes. Therefore, I come along with you. I will come along. If you go alone, you can never survive. I guarantee you can. Can you imagine? You can never survive. Therefore, I come with you. How are you going to come with me? I come with you. I join you. I join with you. I come. So therefore, Krishna, that means when you see all the avatar of Vishnu, Narayana, all come in a cloudy, it's like it's a dark, cloudy, monsoon, what they call clouds. It will always look like bluish, blackish, and all this. The word Krishna means black. Sometimes when we look at our astrological chart, Krishna Paksha and also Shukla Paksha. Sometimes they say Krishna Paksha Egadasi, Shukla Paksha Egadasi. Shukla means bright, light. Krishna means black. So that means during Amavasya, black moon, or during bright moon, during Paurnami time. That means, what they call Valarprai, Teiprai. Valarprai is called as Shukla Paksha, Teiprai called Krishna Paksha. So Krishna means black. So he go all the way in that kind of somehow or other, you go into that color. Unless Varahadevi came in the form of a rat, right? So fish, he came in the form of a gold, and the little Vamana, of course, first he came, but after that, when he expanded as Trivikram, he showed his original color. But of course, in Kali Yuga, Radharani says, you can never go in that color. I will join you. All right. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the form of a devotee, but in the color of Radharani, golden complexion. That is why he is called as Gauranga. Gaur means gold, the golden form. So even when he comes here, the internal potency, Radharani says, you can never survive. Beautiful. I hope if Krishna desires, if Krishna blesses through all our acharyas, our spiritual master, I hope, because we are talking about 2 to 3 years, I hope one day we can somehow or other study through this Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, that we can nourish and relish this kind of knowledge. Okay, because we are on the marathon, we are studying every day. Definitely we go into that subject, right? Krishna willing. So now, Daivim Prakritim referred to control of the internal potency or the pleasure potency of the personality of Godhead. This pleasure potency is manifested as Srimati Radharani. Right? So it's manifested as Srimati Radharani, and her expansion is Lakshmi, or the goddess of the fortune. When Krishna came in the form of Narayana, Radharani came in the form of Lakshmi. Right? Mahalakshmi. Okay? So her expansion is Lakshmi, which is called the goddess of fortune. So when the individual soul are under the control of internal energy. Okay, now mark this word, write it down. Or if you have a book with you, what they call, underline this thing. Don't highlight, underline this word. Then after that, when we go into Daivi Prakriti, just imagine this itself, I feel very ecstatic. I'm not sure about you, but I feel so ecstatic. But when we go to Bhakti Loka, we'll be floating, I'm telling you. All right. So now, so that means now it is individual soul are under the control of internal energy. Okay. When the individual soul are under the control of internal energy, their only engagement is satisfying Krishna or Vishnu. When we are into that, because why? When we are, so again, let me say, all right, let me say the highlighter again. All right, now what Prabhupada is saying, when individual soul under control of internal energy. So the only thing that you can do is satisfaction of Krishna or Vishnu. Why? Why like that? Because this internal potency is ruled by a Srimati Radharani, and that potency is known as the pleasure potency. Yes or not? When you are having pleasure, what else you can think of? What else can you think of? The only pleasure you get by serving the Lord. So the only thing that what we can go on doing is simply serve the Lord. This is the position of Mahatma. Now you understand. This is the position of Mahatma. So in other words, what we can understand from here, when a person comes to the level of Mahatma, he is in spiritual bliss. All right. Externally, maybe he may look like a beggar. Externally, he may look like a pauper. Externally, he may look like undernourished, malnourished. Externally, he may look like very pitiful state. But the smile when he gives, it is just like how 1,000 moons shines at the same time. All right. I have seen that. A devotee, I don't want to mention name. A devotee, he's like so renounced and he doesn't take care of himself. He doesn't dress properly. All right. He is like always simple. All right. But when he smiles, the smile attracts you. The smile, Krishna, amazing devotee. Right? He's in Puchong. So that's what I'm saying. So this is the position of Mahatma. Okay. So Mahatma is the one that attracts. Okay. He attracts. See, when a Mahatma can attract Krishna and gain that trust of Radharani, how about us? When we see Mahatma, we simply fall at their feet and get it. And who are these? We will study as we go on. What are the three kinds of devotee? All right. What they call the three types of devotee is, number one is neophyte. What they call neophyte? Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. We will study that. I think in this verse or the next verse, we will study that. So, if one is not a Mahatma, there's only two options. When a person is not Mahatma, the next thing is only a Duratma or the cripple-minded person. Now we may think to ourselves, hey, I'm not Mahatma yet. I'm not Mahatma. Am I Duratma? You are clearing yourself from Duratma. You are on the process of being Mahatma. Think about it. Believe in this. Believe in every Prabhupada word. Okay, if not, Prabhupada won't be writing all this, because at one moment, all right, when he after Prabhupada gave a speech, then after he called his disciple, play the speech, I want to listen. And the disciple asking, Prabhupada, you just spoke. You want to listen to your own talk? You know what he said? I didn't speak. I didn't speak. Krishna spoke. Wow. And just like this, you know, when at one place, when I recall, I definitely would like to share with you this. He said, I just hold the pen. I just hold the pen. Krishna wrote everything. How can a person can be this perfect? Who can compose Srimad Bhagavatam, what, 18,000 verses? Chaitanya Charitamrita is 25,000 verses. Bhagavad Gita 800, some of all the things, world lecture. You know, he got an archive, and his book fit to be a library. How can a person within 12 years can do this? That means he's empowered Acharya. We will study that in verse 8 or 9. 8 or 9, Prabhupada will indirectly reveal about himself. Amazing. Okay, don't rush. We go as we go on. So we have only two cripple-minded, and what are all of us? we are getting clearing from the cripple-mindedness. We are on our path of Mahatma. And what is the best solution? Upadesha Mrita can show you the best solution how to do it. Such mentality of cripple-minded or duratmas are put under the control of the Lord external potency, or we call Maha Maya. That's now Prabhu says Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya means, okay, I just saw a message. Iskandar Prabhu says Yoga Maya. We must understand, Prabhu, is Yoga Maya is Krishna's energy, right? Which is spiritual energy. Maha Maya means Krishna's external energy, which is localized or material Maya. So what is Yoga Maya? Yoga Maya came in the form of Subhadra. You know, Krishna, Balaram, Subhadra in Jagannath Radha Yatra, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. Then that Subhadra is Yoga Maya. And that Yoga Maya is considered, in other words, in a layman term, she is Krishna's secretary. Right? When when suddenly Mother Yasoda, when Krishna took the sand and put into the mouth, you know, Balaram come and tell, Maya, Maya, mummy, mummy. Krishna took the sand and put in the mouth. What? He had the sand. Oh my God. And she runs. She says, hey, you, why you put the sand? Because she don't understand Krishna as God. You know, that is topmost devotion. They don't even recognize him as God. Right? So he said, hey, why you put the sand in your mouth? Come on. And you know, usually when you see a child put the sand in the mouth, what we do? We open the mouth and try to take out the sand. When she opened the mouth, she saw the entire universe in his mouth. She said, why? You just open the mouth. You say, can you imagine? You open the mouth and see planets and everything. And she got a shock. And she started to be doubtful. Hey, what is this? And suddenly Yoga Maya come and blank her. Hey, why you put, you know, the Yoga Maya. The Yoga Maya is Krishna's secretary. All right. So she comes. So Yoga Maya is Krishna's secretary. And Maha Maya is his external energy, external secretary. All right. Okay. It's very interesting. Okay, Prabhu. Iskandar Balan, Prabhu, you got it? Do you understand? Are you there? Prabhu, Iskandar Balan, Prabhu, do you get the idea? Who is Yoga Maya and what is Maha Maya? Always must remember this. Because I also struggle to remember this. Because Maha means big. So I say, well, Maha means big. Oh, that's so we always like mix up. All right. Okay. Yes. Great. All right. Okay. Now. Okay. All right. So now it's going to be 11:05. Shall we do this last paragraph? All right. We do this last paragraph and tomorrow we continue with the following paragraph. Is that okay? I know it's very addictive. It's very exciting. I can go on talking, but I also must keep to my word of finishing by 11 to 11:15. Come on. Someone say something. All right. Somebody say that. Okay. All right. So we do this, then we continue. All right. So now let's look at this. So indeed, all living entities within this material world are under the control of Mahamaya. Prabhupada is explaining Mahamaya now. So all the living entities, imagine, including the devas, including all the demigods, all right? All the devas, or 33 million devas, all of them are under control of Mahamaya. And her business is to subject them to the influence of threefold misery. Okay? What is her business? What is the job of Mahamaya? I mean, or in other words, we can say Krishna's external secretary. So Krishna's private secretary is Yoga Maya and his external secretary is Mahamaya. And what is her job? Her job is to always influence a threefold misery against the living entity. All right. So what are the suffering? Okay, now if you got a pen and paper, please write it down. If you got a book, of just underline the thing, or if you don't have any, just take photo, but don't keep it in your, just don't simply keep in your archive. Make sure you, after when you have the time, immediately write down in a book or refer back to the thing. But if you forgot everything, if you have no time, go back and watch this video again. So now, what are the threefold misery? All right. First is Adi Daivika Klesha. Second is Adi Bhautika Klesha. And number 3 is called Adi Atmika Klesha. You know that Durga is having a trident, Lord Shiva having a trident, the trident, right? The trident, W, look like W, right? Trident. So what is that trident? What does it mean? That is a threefold misery. They are the imposter of threefold misery. So the first miserable thing we call Adi Daiva Klesha. Second is Adi Bhautika Klesha. And the third is Adi Atmika Klesha. Okay, now. So now we see this. What is Adi Daivika Klesha? Adi Daivika Klesha. Just think about the word Daiva, Devam. All right, Devas. All right, just think about that. If you want to remember this, just think about Deva, Adi Deva. So Adi Daivika Klesha means suffering caused by the demigods, right? Such as drought, earthquake, and storms, right? So what is that thing? So when we see all the storms and all these things happening, it's all because of the works of the Devas, because that's their duty, right? When Krishna, when all that Vrajavasis want to do offering to the Govardhan hill, Krishna says, don't do to, I mean, they all want to do offering to Indra. Indra is in charge of clouds, rain, clouds, all the person in charge is Indra. And he said, we offer this cloud because if there's no rain, we cannot harvest. And then Krishna says, no, why Indra? Indra got nothing to do. You offer to Govardhan, because from Govardhan you're getting herbs, you're getting plants, you're getting vegetables, you're getting the water, all from Govardhan, not from Indra. Where's Indra? Worship. And you know, when Yoga Maya come and dilute them, they all say, yeah, makes sense. They start to do offering to Govardhan. So when they start to offer to Govardhan, Indra became so angry, he brought rain. And he brought that kind of rain of dissolution, the destroying rain. So she brought the rain until he wanted to destroy the entire Vrindavan. That's when Krishna carried the, what they call, the Govardhan hill. Sometimes when we see like a big wave, big kind of typhoon, massive earthquake, volcano, tsunami, right? All this created from the Devas, all right? Like tsunami means from Varuna Dev, the one in charge of the sea water, Varuna, all right? And Agni Dev, like recently, you know, when you see Los Angeles, the whole Los Angeles was destroyed, all right? The whole Los Angeles was destroyed because of the job of Agni Deva, all right? The forest fire, yes, Prabhu, forest fire. All these things are created, and even drought, all these things created by them, right? So second is Adi Bhautika Klesha. Adi Bhautika Klesha means suffering caused by other living entity like insects or enemies, all right? But of course, insects, okay, sometimes, say like when we are bitten by a certain insect, like a kind of red ant, you know, some people, when they have allergy, the body all start to have boils, right? And also enemies. So now we are all seeing that we are, even though that we have, you know, in our house, you know, in a car, once we get into the car, we also like to put that auto lock. Those days we don't hear that. When you enter the car, we manually lock the door. Now people are so afraid. When they take the car, all the four, it lock by itself. Fear. Then every houses, they all set up CCTV camera, right? CCTV camera, front camera, back camera, you know, all that possible ways of people entering your house. All right. If even a person who are even more richer and everything, they start to keep their own personal security guard. And they say even the security guard will sleep. So now they got a new term. I mean, it's not new, but I just realized they can even hire a security guard with a dog, L station, German Shepherd dog. All right. They'll bring a Dalmatian, another dog is what? I forgot another name. Okay. German Shepherd, L station. So they bring the dog. Okay. The security with the dog. All right. If anybody comes in, the dog will attack. It's such a, dangerous dogs. Because we are so afraid of others. Right? We go out, we don't make sure that we don't look at each other's eyes. We be very respectful. And people come and trigger you, just ignore them, just go away. Don't trigger them further. Easily just say sorry, just walk. There's so much of fear, right? But the ultimate thing in Adi Bhautika Klesha, what is that ultimate thing? All right? We all should be really happy that we have experienced that in our lifetime. What is that? The most horrible thing happened. So in my lifetime, I've seen Adi Daivika Klesha, all right, the suffering caused by demigods is like tsunami. Huge disaster I've seen in our lifetime. The second is Adi Bhautika Klesha. Like I've seen, like even say, like if you are around 90s and above, if you have experienced World War II, We have seen that when the Japanese invasion, dropping the bomb around, people go underground and hide. Like my wife's grandmother, she used to tell the story. All right, whenever they come and drop the bomb in Buntong area, they all go and hide under the thing. And she's still alive. She's 99 years old. All right. So she used to tell the story about how created by this thing. But in our lifetime, what we have seen, the recently we see coronavirus, COVID-19. It brought the entire world to the knees. Whether the person is a multi-millionaire or the person is a pauper on the road, all were thrown into hibernation. They are not allowed to go out. And all start to struggle. I have all the money in the world, but I don't have even one handful of grains. All right? People are suffering. People are suffering terrible. They went through hell. All right? So Adi Bautika, there's a suffering that created by virus. And that virus is also living entity. It is not like ordinary thing. It's a living entity. The whole world went into that. And we have seen also, right? I think every one of us have experienced either at least one of our loved one or the person we know died due to coronavirus. All right. My auntie's, my uncle's younger brother's wife, she died of corona because of the friend. Oh my God, horrible. I don't need to explain because you all know the story. How people died. Like especially in India, right? People are dying on the road because no oxygen. Until there's no place to cremate, they come and cremate the body in front of the house. Like I saw one video in Kerala. Kerala. So it means the person died. They bring one like a coffin like that. They put the body just like the barbecue. The people do barbecue. They set up everything. They take the gas and they set right in front of the house. They burn to ash, take the ash and give it to them, and they just go to the another house. My God, terrible. That is second suffering. And now the third one is Adi Atmika Klesha, which is also very common. That is caused by one's body, mind, such as mental and physical infirmities. That's why now you see the psychiatric setting, the psychiatric cleaning are becoming mushrooming. So many psychiatrics are coming out. Now they say the best job. What is the best? Those who are doing SPM, STPM, want to go for a university. So what is the best job prospect now? People say AI, no, psychology. Right? Because people are becoming more and more depressed. They're getting more and more depressed. They're becoming more and more crazy. Because my wife working in Tanjung Rambutan, she's a psychiatric pharmacist. She used to say all varieties of people are coming there. They can be very rich. They can all because of depression. In fact, my daughter is planning also to go into psychology. So they were thinking, because that's the deal. Because now this is what is missing. So these are the three kinds of suffering. Adi Atmika Klesha means suffering caused by one's body and mind. And every one of us are going through it. So what is the best solution for all this? It is by devotional service. All right. Anyway, we will study that also. I don't want to jump the gun. So Daiva Bhutatma Hetava. Daiva Bhutatma Hetava, or the conditioned soul subjected to these three miseries by the control of the external energy, that is, suffer various difficulties. So now we understand the one that in charge of all these three kinds of misery, or the one that is through this external energy, we call Yoga Maya. When a person goes through this kind of suffering, he becomes crippled. That's why it's called as cripple-minded or Dur Atma. With this, we end the session today. Part 1 of verse 2. So we open for a question. If you don't have a question, we end the thing. Can we have a person who are secretary here that can mark where we stop so that tomorrow we can easily go back to the point? Anyone? Anyone like to volunteer? What's happening? Hey, how come no sound? Okay, anyway, it's suddenly I'm saying this is okay. Today I mark it. So tomorrow I hope anyone who have the nectar of instruction, keep the book with you. Just mark. So next day we can easily go into that. It's just a simple service. Is it okay? All right. So sorry. Where we stopped? The main problem confronting. Okay, let me mark this. The main problem confronting the conditioned soul. Right? So the main problem confronting the conditioned soul is the repetition of birth and death. Okay. So I marked this thing. So tomorrow we will okay, let me see. Right. So tomorrow we will continue part 2 on this, because we can just read and go along, because sometimes if you really read the book, I think for 4-5 hours you can finish the entire book. It's a tiny book, but the meanings are so much in depth. All right. So thank you so much for your time. I really hope that you have enjoyed the class, because I personally feeling so good talking about this. I really enjoyed. I hope that you all enjoyed. Okay. But the most important is the takeaway. What did you take away? Is there something inspired you? Something that think that you should upgrade yourself from the level of Duratma to Mahatma? Maybe we are on the process of cleansing. So now, but the problem is we are taking our time. Okay, clean la, what's the rush? But through this book we understand it's better to clean it faster. Because while you're in the process of cleaning, you are going through these 3 klesha: Adi Daivika, Adi Bautika, and Adi Atmika. It is not very comfortable and it's not very conducive. But at the same time, Krishna says you are under Daivi Prakriti. So even though the klesha, the suffering comes, you don't suffer terribly, because you are under the protection of the divine nature of Krishna. So that's the conclusion. So with that, have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for your association. It's my great pleasure to have all of you with us today. So tomorrow we're going to continue on 4th paragraph. Thank you, Gandhi Mataji. Thank you so much. If you have anyone who wants to join the class, all right, please tell them. To come, and you can add them. But before you add them, please inform them this is a advanced class, and here the message can be heavy a bit. All right, so we prefer a devotee who are really a regular or broad-minded devotee, right? Because here we are not more like giving you an overall RTC formula, right? We are diving deep into subject matter, right? So there's messages here, wonderfully explained. Thank you. Case of an interesting story of realization of old folks. Yes. Very interesting. Hare Krishna, thank you very much, Prabhu. Okay, thank you so much. Please share your realization in the group. Please share your takeaway, like how Madhumita did. What's the takeaway? What she have learned? Just like a thing. Please share it in the group. And we continue. And those who are staying in Ipoh, today we are having round 2 Namahat program, Thursday evening. Today we meet at 8:30 p.m. All right, 8:30 p.m. If K7, if you can come, it'll be very nice. So today, 8:30, we just do half an hour of pure bhajan kirtan, then another half an hour of class, just few points, and we end the session by 10 o'clock. All right. Till then, see you again tomorrow. All right. But because sometimes the place I'm going is getting terrible jam, so we will start by 9:15. All right. So if you think 9 o'clock I'm here, but how come nobody on? Please bear with me. Definitely we have the class. Unless if there's anything urgent, I'll tell you in advance. All right. But hopefully I pray to Krishna, pray to my spiritual master, Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, and also Acharya like Srila Prabhupada, and all the Acharyas like Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Saras Prabhupada, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Jagannath Das Goswami, and all the 86 Goswamis of this Vrindavan. Okay. And all the previous Acharya to bless all of us with pure knowledge of Krishna, so we can relish it and we can practice it and we can upgrade ourselves. Let's set our mind, set our dream. Of course, only in material we are talking about setting goals. I want to achieve this. Now let's set our goal. First day goal that we set, that I want to be Mahatma. No harm. Okay, you have to set your goal. I want to be Mahatma, and that is my goal. And then after you set your goal in Mahatma, let's go detail how to go into the level of Mahatma in the following paragraph and also the following verses. All right. So with that understanding, we end the session here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu bevacha paditanam pavinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna. Have a beautiful day. Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much.
Hare Bol.